The Matrix, one of my most favorite action sci-fi movies ever made. It was one of those groundbreaking, redefining movies that really kind of changed the entire landscape of filmmaking for a long time. Released by the Wachowski brothers back in 1999, this film became an instant classic in my eyes. It was like lightning in a bottle. Everything aligned perfectly to make this movie truly something special. Say what you will about the sequels Reloaded and Revolutions. I enjoy them to a degree, but yeah, they are way too convoluted. They overthought the concept, put way too much into those movies, and really kind of just didn't do the mythology of the Matrix any real favors. Having said that, should they make any more Matrix movies, I'll definitely be down. I'll definitely want to see more of them. But out of the trilogy, yeah, The Matrix, the original, that first one, released in 1999, is an absolute gem. I love that movie so much. And finally, yeah, we have it on the 4K HDR. And it's beautiful, yes, but not perfect. This film, yeah, there's a lot of film grain in this, and it stands out a lot. If you're not a fan of film grain, yeah, you could be challenged a little bit at the look of the screen. I can accept film grain. I think movies that are shot on film, 4K really does allow us to see how the movies are truly represented. So film grain for me is not really an issue. But in this digital age where a lot of the movies are filmed in digital, you're going to notice a difference. You're going to see crisp, clean images in today's films. The older movies shot on film, yeah, there's going to be that grain. So if you're not going to be a fan of grain, then yeah, you could be really taken out of the film here. But like I said, I dig the grain, and it was fine. It looked fantastic to me.
Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
It's a very dark film as well. There's not a lot of bright colours in this one. Yeah, we've got the greenish hue of the Matrix scenes when they're actually inside the computer program, which was meant to allude to the colour of our computer monitor. Back in the day, it had that greenish tint. So we do have those greenish hues when Neo, Trinity and Morpheus and the team are in the Matrix. Looks fantastic. It's really beautiful to look at. And then the scenes in the real world, they're tinged with a more blue hue, which the Wachowskis were saying is kind of more relevant to the real world. Like blue is a more natural colour.
Get me the hell out of here!
Welcome to the real world.
Ironically, blue is the least natural colour in nature. The things you know. Starring Keanu Reeves as Neo, Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, Carrie Ann Moss as Trinity, Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, Gloria Foster as the Oracle. Unfortunately, Gloria Foster died not long after filming for this movie and didn't make it back for the sequels. Rest in peace. You were amazing in this movie. Joe Pantoliano as Cypher, Marcus Chong as Tank, Julian Arahanga as APAC, Matt Doran as Mouse, Belinda McClory as Switch. Trivia: Switch was actually meant to be a gender-neutral character. In the real world, Belinda McClory was going to play the role as she is a female, but in the Matrix, Switch was actually going to be a male character, thus the name Switch. Thank you, IMBD. Trivia section rocks. And Anthony Ray Parker as Dozer. Now, like I said at the beginning of my review, the lightning in the bottle aspect of this film is just astounding. They captured everything perfectly. The stars aligned, and this movie was just groundbreaking. The action scenes were choreographed by the legendary Hong Kong stunt coordinator Wu Ping Yuen. He initially didn't want to do the film at all, so he made all these unreasonable demands to the Wachowski brothers. First, to try and get out of doing it, he asked for an obscene amount of money. The Wachowskis said yes. And then he decided, okay, he's going to ask for complete control over the fight scenes. They said yes. So that gave him the opportunity to train all the actors who had fight scenes for 4 months before shooting to get everyone up to par. And it really shows. Although, like, in some scenes you can see Keanu Reeves, for me, some of his fight moves, and full kudos to Keanu Reeves, man. I love the guy. not the best actor in the world, but he always throws everything into whatever he's doing 100%, and he always kind of finds himself in these amazing movies like Speed, this, John Wick, these amazing action films, and he surrounds himself with such amazing talent, and he just excels in these kind of roles. But all the stunts they did themselves. So to me, although some scenes with Keanu when he's doing the kung fu and stuff, it does seem a little bit unnatural. And some scenes where he's like got the high kicks and the legs and he's moving and doing all the stuff, it does kind of seem a little chuckle worthy to me. But like I said, full props to the guys. They have done so much work to make the fight scenes in this movie something spectacular. And also we got the bullet time, the truly innovative special effect, like the Trinity jump scene at the beginning when she leaps up doing the crane. And also the famous scene when Neo is dodging the bullets in Bullet Time. Trinity! Help! It was just groundbreaking, innovative stuff that was mimicked so often in other films after this that it does seem a little bit cliched now. But this is the originator. This is the movie that did it first. And wow, it really does still stand the test of time. With the 4K though, you do see some of the seams on the special effects. It is a film made in 1999, so it's nearly 20 years old. Oh my god. And yeah, so some of the special effects do show their age. They still look good, but you can definitely tell with today's special effects, this is kind of like a little dated. Where the HDR shines in this film for me was at the end of the movie with the big, the breakout of Morpheus where Neo and Trinity go into this building and there's gunfire, martial arts explosions. One of the only scenes shot in daylight, and it's the helicopter escape at the very end.
Please remove any metallic items you're carrying, keys, loose change. Holy shit!
That's where it really kind of kicked in, and the 4K resolution really started to shine. The explosions were perfect. The lights on the sentinels, the squiddies that are tracking down the Nebuchadnezzar, the ship that our crew used to kind of get through the tunnels of this decayed city. The little lights and the glowing bulbs on these creatures really do pop and stand out, and they shine quite nicely. The blacks are beautiful. The crew all wear their black outfits and they shine quite nicely. The glasses, the sunnies are beautiful. The night scenes are great. So the 4K HDR is definitely an uptick from the Blu-ray. It looks fantastic. If you wanted to double dip and get this, I highly recommend you do pick it up. It was so much fun. I've seen this movie a lot of times, like over 20 easy, and even when I was just watching this last night, I was putting the movie on and I was kind of looking at Facebook a bit as I was watching the film and like enjoying it, but then slowly my phone was put aside and I was just 100% invested in this film once again. Like I've seen it so many times, I know every beat, I know what's going to happen, I know when, and I was just 100% invested. That's the power of the storytelling in this movie, and the performances and the special effects and the choreography of the fight scenes, and it's just a marvelous sci-fi action film. It is amazing. If you've not seen The Matrix, at least check out the first one. It is balls to the wall fun, and it's a classic for a reason, and like I said, it's a game changer. This movie kind of introduced a new way of filmmaking for a lot of artists, and yeah, like I said, it was mimicked in a lot of other movies after this one. It was unreal. Keanu Reeves was great. Carrie-Anne Moss was great. Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, fantastic. That guy's a wonderful actor. Go Aussie. This film was made in Sydney as well. I do remember back in the day, the helicopter scene at the end, when they're flying over Sydney and we got Neo and Morpheus hanging below. I remember the day they filmed that, because it made the news because Sydney had restricted airspace. So the makers of the film had kind of got into a bit of trouble and needed to talk to the Australian government to kind of change the laws for filming so they could, do this scene in the city. Obviously, this was well before 9/11 as well. So cities do have restricted airspace. So it's not like you can just go up and start filming a movie in the middle of Sydney with a helicopter with people hanging under it without getting the right permission. But it looks sensational anyway. But I do remember that because, yeah, it was interesting. And I was like, this movie, what's going on? They're filming a movie in Sydney? That's cool. Bit of a novelty back then. But, yeah, it's cool watching a movie that's filmed in your hometown and, like, picking all the spots. All you people over there in LA and Hollywood, you're kind of used to it, New York. But Sydney, it's a novelty. It still is. So I kind of enjoy seeing places I've been to on film. Yeah, it's cool. That's just a thing. So, The Matrix, 10 out of 10. What more can I say? I love this film. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's an instant classic. Still a classic. Holds up remarkably well. It looks amazing in 4K HDR. And regardless of the sequels, this one is one of the best sci-fi action films ever committed to celluloid. And the Wachowskis have not quite got the success they had after this initial film, but this one was just out the gate. It was fantastic. So yeah, I highly recommend you pick it up and check it out. And if you do want to just pick it up on 4K, yeah, you won't be disappointed. Anyway, guys, thank you for checking into my channel. That was my review on The Matrix on 4K. Definitely worth the pick up. Don't forget to subscribe. Throw me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.